Hello, I'm Alberto Levy, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm going to talk about how to navigate in a disruptive world. And I'm going to talk about two important terms that have a very big impact in the world today. The first one is called the Black Swan event. Before 1697, the world thought that there were just white swans. But in that year, in Australia, a black swan was spotted and changed the world of zoology. So they thought maybe we could find other colors of swans in the world. It's not that just this rare, appearance and rare viewing. So Black Swan event was presented by Nassim Taleb in 2007, describing and defining an unpredictable event that is beyond what is normally expected from a situation and something that has potentially serious consequences. They are very rare, and throughout the history we witness some of those events. Some people even say that Donald Trump going to power was one of those black swan events, and even the pandemics, although Nassim Taleb himself thinks the pandemics was a white swan. We could have seen this coming. The second term is VUCA. There's an acronym that was coined in 1997, as a result of the end Cold War, describing how the world was. And the world was volatile because the changes were fast and significant. It was uncertain by the unpredictability of events that were happening. Complex because it depends on many factors, and ambiguous because of the difficulty to understand what is happening. So volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous was the time back then, but it seems that's coming back and will come back many times over. So when there's a military mission, it is definitely a VUCA environment. There's no information or security regarding the situation in which a mission must be carried out. Some people say that in the world of business, like a startup, there's a lack of information, security regarding the situation in which the idea must be validated and carried out anyway. So something volatile is something that's susceptible to change quickly and unpredictably, especially for the worst. And we see when major economies, they're not doing well, how they impact other economies, and things can be really sudden when there's a major earthquake, when we had the Brexit vote or a terrorist attack. It really can destabilize global economies and relations. We see volatility, in the cryptocurrency valuations. We can see sometimes in the weather, like this picture in Arizona a couple of years back, in the price of commodities and so on. But as we see a lot of volatile environments and events, how to respond to that? Well, we can respond with rationality, analysis, and critical thinking. If we're able to analyze and have the critical thinking, we can mitigate the problem of having a volatile world, because it's one of the characteristics that won't go away. Of course, we can get some support on technology like big data, data analytics, of course, cloud computing, AI, IoT. We have more tools today to deal with data, because the world is going to keep changing faster than ever, and the critical thinking of what do we do with this data we're collecting. Uncertain is what we cannot be relied on, something that's unknown, that's undefined, because we're always trying to see the future, to foresee what's coming. But it's hard. It's hard to now to think about 1 year in advance, 2 years in advance, and to be certain of something. Sometimes we launch a product, we're expecting it will succeed, and it fails. There's a lot of uncertainty, more and more. And now we see a lot of industries being disrupted, what brings uncertainty and uncertainty for everyone. And we see, the transport, hotels. We see energy being disrupted. What is not necessarily bad, but how can we mitigate this and be more sure what we do in the future? We respond with problem resolution skills. Problems will come and we have to know how to solve them. But do we have the right environment to tackle problems? Imagine we're in an organization, doesn't matter the size of the organization. Do we have cognitive diversity, meaning people with different abilities, skills, ways of thinking, backgrounds, cultures? Do we have psychological safety, like a place where they're not attacked by being different or saying things out loud? There's a wonderful article called "The Two Traits of the Best Problem-Solving Teams." It was published by the Harvard Business Review from Reynolds and Lewis. And they identified teams, right, in an organization. And they defined those teams in different ways. And they found out that the teams that they think different and they are not oppositive to the other, they're not fighting to each other to see who is getting the rewards for that idea, or not trying to get the other ones down, are the best teams. The teams, they have to support each other, the members, and also be able to say things and not being punished by the organization. So they are cognitively diverse and they're psychologically safe, meaning, again, they're not attacked by the ideas, they're coming and they'll be incentivized to come with new ideas. The environment is good for that, and the environment is also benefiting from all those ideas. And they say that's one of the best ways of working together, getting the most out of a team. If we talk about complexity, complex is something that has many different and connected parts, and the more we go out there, we see that the world is more complex like a game of chess or making business in different countries. What is becoming more and more the norm with the development of the digital world, but it becomes more and more complex. How to respond? With knowledge and active learning. We cannot be stuck with what we know, what we learned, what we think we know. We have to keep on learning, challenging ourselves, challenging our teams, everyone that's around us. And there are tools for that. This image, I'm sure you're seeing this every day. We're much more connected now digitally, for good and for bad. And there are a lot of platforms that can help us bring new ideas, bring new information, getting more education, Khan Academy, the MOOCs, the massive open online courses from, amazing quality of MITs and Harvards. So we have to keep on learning to mitigate that. And finally, ambiguity. Something ambiguous is something that's open to more than one interpretation, not having an obvious meaning. But the thing is, a lot of things, they don't have a very obvious meaning. And this could also represent a positive thing. So to respond that is with effective communication, to clear things out, and emotional intelligence, to embrace the existence of ambiguity. Nothing is 100% sure. So we need to get those things that can even bring a richness to a project and transform this into new inputs to get new and better outputs. But it's important always to pursue clarity, because it will show clearly the way for all passages in the journey. So embrace other ideas, and to move forward, we have to clear things out. So something volatile, we respond to rationality, analysis, and critical thinking. Uncertainty, we respond with problem-solving skills. Complexity, we respond with knowledge and active learning. And ambiguity, with effective communication and emotional intelligence. So we see with this that the entrepreneurial mindset is very important, along with humanity, to be better and more human, because it brings a lot of interesting attributes. If you think about that entrepreneurial mindset, to think like a startup, and I got 3 of them to share with you. The first one that I love is the positive mental attitude, right? Thomas Jefferson used to say, Nothing can stop a person with the right mental attitude from achieving his or her goal. But nothing on earth can help a person with the wrong mental attitude. The entrepreneurial mindset brings us this, the right mental attitude. How I'm going to do this. You see, usually us in the entrepreneurial world, we don't start with a P&L and the numbers, we start with a dream, and then we're going to pursue the dream. And the right mental attitude is fundamental. The second one is about creativity, a creative mind. We have to be looking for new and better and fresh ideas. You might recognize the style of this painting, and the author says, the chief enemy of creativity is good sense. So maybe we should leave sometimes the good sense on the side and think outside of the box or think differently, not always with the same mindset. Being challenged by other people, and that ambiguity, positive ambiguity, is also good for that. And also, Pablo Picasso said, everything you can imagine is real. So it's time to get the world of ideas and bring them to the world of innovation and implementation. And we have the tools for that. And the third one is about tenacity and the capacity to learn from failures. Failure is a positive thing. We're not pursuing failure, but we have so much to learn from failure, and we have to keep on moving forward. And there's this amazing quote from Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She says, so often in life, things that you regard as an impediment turn out to be great, good fortune. And we just see this later. So instead of, looking down on things you were not expecting, they might be a very good thing to rethink and be better in the future. So to navigate the world of disruption, I have an invitation for you, an invitation to have that entrepreneurial mindset. Also, to think in a positive way, be agents of change, and be better and more humans. Achoo. Thank you very much.